What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Accidental Isolation, where we bring guests on to tell their stories about isolation, whether it be mentally, physically, or emotionally. Today, we came back to Arbor Eatery, back where it all started, and being in venues here in Charlotte. Today, we got one of the hottest rappers in Charlotte, North Carolina, Capone. Man, what's going on?
Yeah. What's up, my brother? What's up, my brother?
Yes, sir, man. I'm super excited. I appreciate you giving me your time today. I appreciate
you.
you coming on the show, being vulnerable, telling your story.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. Let's get started with just letting the viewers and listeners know a little bit about yourself.
All right. Shit. Capone, man. Caponedagod on socials, you know what I'm saying? I rap, make music, really art for real. I don't call it music. It's really art. From Buffalo, New York, you know what I'm saying? Came to Charlotte a couple years ago. Really grew up. I really say I grew up in Charlotte, though, because I became a man. I came out here at 16. So it was a couple of years ago, but I'm becoming a man out here. Like I said, man, I make art, It's been nice. Down south has been real nice to me. Charlotte's been real nice. It's different, definitely different.
Yeah, different from up north.
What? Super different, you know what I'm saying? Buffalo's super gritty. It's really upstate, so it's not city. Real gritty, real, everybody out there looking for a dollar.
Yeah.
It's the same thing out here, but, it's a little tough out there, But definitely glad to be here. So appreciate you.
So when people ask you where you're from, what you claim, you claim it Buffalo,
I
Charlotte.
I gotta claim Buff.
Okay.
I'm gonna claim Buff, but for sure, Charlotte has been a big influence on my life so far. So
all right, cool. I love it, bro. Like being that. So when you move, what did you move? In high school, I know you said you were 16. So did you just finish high school, or did you? Have to move,
I was like
right
a sophomore or like a junior. Yeah, Pops had got a job out here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the whole family got up out of there.
Yeah, definitely. You got to follow the good opportunity.
Oh, yeah,
especially.
For sure.
And, the South is better anyway. Everybody come from up north to come down here to get right.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, the South, when I first came down here, niggas was too nice. Like, I was not
Well, no, we
used to
nice
that.
in
Like,
general.
niggas was way too nice. But for sure, the South, and y'all low-key got them beat on food, too.
Oh, definitely the food.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all eat the same thing?
Like, the portions, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We gonna feed you.
Y'all
We gonna get you big. That way everybody bigger down here, too. Right?
Facts. No cap. No cap.
Everybody bigger down here, man. Yeah, man. So super excited to have you on the show. I know I met you through Dose. He was a guest on the show last year, and he friends with Pool, and just through mutual friends we know each other. And definitely I love to get the biggest emphasis for this season. One is to get in the community, whether that's hosting events, hosting shows at different venues and things like that, and also getting local artists, getting local just entrepreneurs, local people in Charlotte to help build this community of support and let people understand that regardless of what I do as a profession, right? Because everybody's not a mental health person. So unlike me, I talk about my feelings every day, all day, my emotions, everything's like that. But everybody's not like that. But I want y'all to understand, and I want y'all to know that this is, we still go through these things.
Exactly.
We still deal with them. We're here to talk about it if you want to bring it up. This isn't something I'm going to just extrovertly talk about, but I'm here for you, right? So once again, I appreciate you coming on and being that light, letting people know that I'm here. Yes, I rap. Yes, I do this. You may not see me as this person, but you know what I'm saying?
I'm also human.
Exactly, and that's the biggest thing, human.
I'm also human. Yeah,
definitely. So before the show, we talked about a little bit about what accidental isolation means.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just dive into it and talk about a moment where in your life you may have been isolated, whether it be mentally, physically, or emotionally.
It's a lot of moments. When life is lifing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a moment right now. Okay. Lost my uncle last month. My dad's best friend.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. Last month, lost my uncle, dad's best friend, who's also my dad's brother-in-law, because my dad's best friend got married to his little sister. So this is like, family. And it hurts when, he died to cancer, but it was a slow death, So when you feel like you basically watch someone die for 11 months before they actually took the last breath, slowly, it can break you, Watched him from losing weight to where he could barely walk to then, going blind, then going deaf, then eternally bleeding, and just watching like a slow toll of just death just take over someone, you know? Try to keep faith strong.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it hurt when they finally said he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the time where I was isolated. My cousin, his son, his baby boy, you know, somebody that I take a lot of pride in being like, yo, that's my little cousin, you know. With him being the only child, you know, I watched him, you know,
go through that.
Go
like
through
watch
that,
him,
you
watch
know?
his father.
And like I said, you know, me being his older cousin, someone that, you know, he would come to for advice and stuff like that, you know, I haven't lost a parent, you know. So someone coming to you for advice on something that you
haven't
experienced, you know, you don't really know what to say, you don't really know what to do. Y'all just both crying. You know what I'm saying? You tell him to stay strong, but imagine, you know, telling a 20-year-old kid
just lost his
who
father.
just lost everything, the man that raised them, you know, to stay strong, you know. So, you know, I can feel like I'm isolated right now, you know. Definitely has its effects on people. I'd say I lost my cousin a couple years ago. That was a time probably early when I was isolated. Lost my cousin a couple years ago, and that's why now it's very big for me to tell someone, "I love you."
Yeah.
You know,
and remind them.
Yeah, remind them, because me and him we was on a bad rap sheet with each other. You know,
At the time,
somebody that you still love, but y'all not communicating over something that was so small, and then, you know, things happen and you're not able to be like, yo, I apologize, or yo, I'm sorry. You know, you lose them. You know, you showing up to the funeral, and, you know, every family knows that y'all wasn't at the best of terms.
But it's like you loved them at the end of the day, you know, so you're at this funeral just.
But those are some times where I felt like
I got you. So let's dive in. You know, like what you're going through now, right? So a lot of times people don't necessarily even notice when they're in isolation.
Right.
Like it's something that after it happens, it's like, oh, looking back,
you reflect on it.
You reflect on it, right? So this is something that's like, part of my words, but it's something that's cool because now we're living through this isolation, and hopefully through you sharing your story, right? Because a lot of times verbally expressing how you feel can help, and also just other episodes or other shows can help you go through this. Because we've had people on the guest who have lost somebody dearly. I had a guest last year. His name was Makai. He lost his father. You know what I'm saying? So we spoke about how that affected him and his brother and things like that. This is why we're here. So, like I said, I'm not happy. Obviously, that's not the emotion I'm exuding, that you're going through this isolation now. But I want to talk about it and dive into like what it looks like, right? So you've watched someone you love, someone you care about, you know, slowly, you know, live his last day. Talk a little bit about what this past 11 months looked like for you.
Very blurry, you know, very blurry. It's not an image that you want to remember. You right? Yeah. So because of how ill he looked physically, you know, I did a lot of separating. You know, I wouldn't go over there when the whole family going over there, because he was a strong man, he was a healthy man, and he took great care of himself. You know, but seeing someone that, you know, like I said, this is my dad's best friend. So if I mess up, he can whoop me just like my dad. Seeing someone that had so much power when I was a kid, you know, basically wither, it broke me. So I did a lot of separating. What I really seen more than actually him was the toll it took on my dad mentally. You know, I done watched my dad lose both his parents and not cry. I done seen him go through so much like turmoil, you know, and not cry, you know. So when I seen him break, from this, I understood, you know, because a little background, my parents are Nigerian.
Okay.
So they come from like a, you know, third world and struggle to get here in the first place, and then to make a name for themselves or make a feasible life for them and their kids. So he's someone that, you know, I was just so used to him being able to, you know, resist. You know,
and be strong,
and be strong, and
show no
be that
emotion,
lion in the jungle. You know, when things got tough, and to see this, you know, I really got to watch it. And the crazy thing is, to basically put my father into images, he didn't even tell me, honestly, that my aunt was that ill until maybe 5 months before he passed.
Yeah.
So the 11 months was just kind of he say, she say, but I never actually seen him.
And knew what was really going on.
Exactly. I got the word from my little cousin. He just, one night, he just broke crying and told me. And, you know, whole time, my pops, you know, his work schedule changed. And I'm, you know, that's my dad. I got his location. I keep seeing him going to the hospital. I come, yo, Dad, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And he sound perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't know why he was at the hospital so much, but it was because he was taking his best friend to his visits, you know? So, yeah, I seen the toll more on Pops.
And how did that affect you, like, seeing, like, two things, right? Seeing your father, the lion, like you expressed, like this your lion. Like I don't see him break. I don't see him nut. Like he's strong. He lion. He's a man.
Yeah.
Right. And then you see your uncle, same thing. He's not your father, but a father figure.
Yeah,
like these two right here, they both the lions of the jungle. They're the kings right now. They're running their kingdom, and they're taking care of you, taking care of their kids.
Yeah.
And you begin to see your uncle begin to get sick, right? And you don't notice that at first, but then you begin to see. You eventually see your dad start to show emotion, start to break down, start to share things that you've never seen before. And a lot of us frankly in the black community, and I know you're from a different culture, you know, so you're not, you know, African American, but
I can relate though.
It's common. And it's common that black people in general, regardless of your race, especially men, we are those lions. Facts. We don't show those emotions.
That's a fact.
So how did that feel? Because like I didn't have a father in the house.
Right.
I have a dad, but I don't have a father in the house to see either one, the lion, or see the you know the emotions that the lions carry as well. So how did that look to you? Like how did that affect you? Was that something that was encouraging? Was that something that put fear in you? Like what was going on through your head when you began to see that?
Definitely fear. Like I said, he didn't communicate with me all the way on what was happening, you know. But you're seeing someone that's so sturdy become kind of shaky.
Yeah. Like
and you don't know why, you know. And like I said, I done seen him through everything. So, you know, it was worrisome, you know, because you know something is going on, but you don't know exactly what it is. And this is somebody that's not going to break.
Yeah.
He's not going, you know, because he's more worried about how you'll receive the information, right? So he'll rather hold it in for the betterment of his son than, you know, for me to know. So, you know, it was definitely fear. I just tried to stay busy, you know. It wasn't the best idea at all. Yeah. But definitely tried to stay busy. Tried to stay more just more I'd say straight path, you know. I was kind of tunnel vision during that time period. Yeah.
Almost like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Just, you know, I really didn't want to think about it at all, you know. Until those last coming months came and I understood why he was trying to hold it in, because once I was aware, that's all I could really think about, you know. So, yeah.
And so once you became aware and once you started to see these things and you started to, you know, put two and two together, like, okay, this is why my dad is doing this. Like, one, I appreciate you because you're still, you know what I'm saying, at my grown age, you're still protecting me because I'm your son.
Yeah.
So you start to see these things, and like you said, you start to distract yourself, and you start to almost kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
In the beginning, and then the 5 months hit. You couldn't really avoid it. You couldn't out of sight, out of mind, because it's right there in your face.
Facts.
At that point, what did you begin to, like, is there in this, let me get my thoughts. So at that point, did you and your father, now your father's open, like he's told you what's going on.
Yeah.
Were conversations beginning to be had, like more emotional conversations, or was he still kind of just strong?
So basically what happened was, like I said, my cousin broke and told me. So Pops still didn't tell me. My cousin broke, told me, called me one night, you know, basically crying, telling me what was going on. And I let it kind of ride for a little bit. I didn't tell nobody that I knew.
Tell your dad?
Yeah, I didn't tell him yet that I knew. Until one day I basically came to him and I was like, Pops, when you was going to tell me, you know, that Uncle Paul was as ill as he is? And, you know, he kind of took a deep breath in and, you know, just told me what was going on, why he hasn't been around, why, you know, things have just been a lot shaky. just in life.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, he did well with communicating that. At the time, he didn't seem really too shook. Mm-hmm. He was pretty firm on what he had going, on what he wanted. He did stress to me to keep it between me and him.
Yeah.
He didn't want my little sisters to know.
Yeah, the whole family. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. So he was very.
So he kind of gave you the responsibility, like, hey, now you're lying too.
Exactly.
Let's help protect the, the cub or whatever the line is.
Exactly.
Let's protect the family. Yeah.
Facts.
That's the beginning. And was that a responsibility that you were open and ready to kind of take on? Because I mean, that could be a lot of pressure. Exactly. So that's a lot of pressure. So how did that? So when he asked that of you, right? Yeah. We've seen this man be a man for so long.
Right.
Now I'm of age to become a man. I don't have kids yet. I'm of age to become a man, and he just asked me to do something that I'm a little uncomfortable with.
Right. Yeah, hell no.
Well, yeah. So let's talk.
Hell no.
So let's kind of talk about, like, were you able to do it?
Yeah.
Were you able to keep it? And then, like, how did that affect you? Like, knowing that my dad is opening up and he's letting me know this is what he needs from me. Like, one, you don't want to let him down because he's your father. Right. But also, like, you care about your little sisters, your mom, and all these other things. So, like, what?
So that's really what it was.
Okay, so that's where. Okay, yeah.
As much as I love him, love him to death. He'll do anything for me. I'll do anything for him. I'm a mama's boy though, so.
Most of us.
You know what I'm saying, man? I'm a mama's boy, man. I tell my mom everything, bro. Yeah. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So holding that from my mama was, like, insane to me. Like, like, every day talk to her and she's super jolly, and my mom's a prayer warrior. She gonna pray all life. If I would have told her back then, she would have been praying from the night she got the information. You know what I'm saying? And just holding that from her was insane. Like, she started asking questions, cause mama knows.
Yeah, mama gonna feel it, son. Yeah,
she knows. But that was the hard part when I was like, nah, I'm good.
Keep it, having to lie to your mom.
It's kind of like the imposter syndrome, They can really sniff it out for real. Like, I had a mask on with it, but hell no, I wasn't ready at all. Like, just holding it from my mama, you know what I'm saying? My sisters, they young, they in school, so they weren't really around too much,
And they don't have that mother's intuition to know.
Exactly.
Like, they're just, he good, he good.
Right, he's straight.
They don't care. They just,
it's like, all right, he good.
But your mom is like,
your mom, like,
she gonna feel it. She gonna sense it.
Something going on.
And, like, so just, like, day to day, like, how does that one affect, like, you mentally, and then you also have your own life. Like, you have your career, you have your job,
facts.
You have your creative desires and your art that you want to put out. How is this isolation at this moment? Like, how is that, one, having to take this responsibility that your father wants you to do, and two, hide it from your mom, and you still have to deal with the illness yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how is this affecting your day-to-day life with your friends or your job or your creative outlet?
For the good and the bad. For the good and the bad, for sure. Friendships, maybe a little, they probably seen that Capone may have been a little bit more distant, wasn't really doing too much of the hanging out during that time once I knew. Art-wise, I think for the better. Because I was able to really sit down and, like, make music that, that mattered to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was able to, you dealing with something like that, your mind thinks in millions of ways that you'll never even think that you had in you. So, I think at that point in time, I was making some of the best music that I had ever made. Ever. I was writing some of the craziest things ever,
You were into that real passion, that pain.
Real, because now it's meaning behind these words, It's meaning behind these words. I was writing lyrics, I was writing verses and doing research on medication about stuff and rhyming that. And I don't know if you know about meds, them shit's long as hell. Them words is long as shit. I was rhyming them shits. Like, I would never think I'd rhyme a 13-letter word. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was insane to me, but I think I was making some of the best art ever at that time. I say career-wise or just financially, it was kind of day in, day out, man. You know, day at a time.
Yeah, didn't really affect that too much.
Yeah, not too much. Not too much, but you know, you do kind of just get into where you just feel like a robot. You know, every day you go, man.
Over and over.
Exactly.
And that, like, habit is good, but once you lose the life within your life, like once you lose the life in between the everyday things you have to do.
And that's really what it came down to. The music was what kept me outlet. Just for sure.
So it's like, let's get into music a little bit. Okay. Obviously, like you said, you're the hardest, the hardest in Charlotte for a reason, and the music is something you do, right?
Right.
Having this experience, and just like any art, like you said, you're not a rapper, you're an artist.
Yeah,
like you do everything. You know what I'm saying? Many artists can relate. Like oftentimes when things happen, unfortunately, when bad things happen, that's when the best art comes out. Because, and this is in my opinion, there's no science behind it, because it forces you to really be true and strip away all these things. Like you said, when your dad asked you to do this, you then had to put on a mask.
Facts.
You then could not be yourself.
Facts.
For a certain period of time.
Facts.
And I don't know if you've seen the movie The Mask. It's like a little green guy with Will Ferrell.
Jim Carrey.
He wanted to take it off towards the end, but he couldn't because he kept wearing it for so long. It began to absorb you.
Exactly.
And eventually, you just
it becomes a part of you. Yeah.
So being able to have this music and being able to have an outlet, being able to have a space where you can take this mask off and keep this mask off, like. How was that for you? Like just being like, obviously, like we're rapping and we're writing about something that's not the best thing in our life.
Right.
But at the same time, there's duality.
Right.
The reasons I'm writing so good, it's a little sad.
Exactly.
But I'm doing what I love and I'm doing it well.
Exactly.
So like, let's talk about a little bit of your music career during that stage. Like, let's just talk about a little bit about your music career during that stage and how you were feeling and stuff.
So at that time, with this being art, I feel like I portray more of a character, you know?
Yeah.
More than me, for real, you know? I'm more of a character, more of, most times when someone hears from me in media, there's a beat behind me, there's an instrumental behind me. So you really rarely hear my voice like this, like the way I'm talking to you now. Most times it's with rhythm, it's on beat, you know what I'm saying? So I think at that time, it's kind of like the WWE where, they give a wrestler a persona that matches his characteristics the best, and that's the best persona of his. You know what I'm saying? Like, for all right, boom. Like, before Stone Cold Steve Austin was Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was another wrestler.
Yeah.
But then they gave him the gimmick of
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, a white guy from Texas.
You
know what I'm saying? And that's who he was. So it was natural for him to come out there with some beer, crush that shit over it, and chug it. Because he probably grew up doing that anyway, you know?
Exactly.
So that's what I think happened with me when it came
what
to
character or what persona were you able to embody?
So basically, I was able to now these lyrics went from like maybe aspirations and what was cool to say, things I was doing that I felt was cool, that I felt was swaggy or had some type of like aura to it, to this is really what's going on right now. Like, I'm not dreaming about this goal, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dreaming about like what I want to do with the art or with the music, you know what I'm saying? Like, a big thing that I want to do in music, I don't even want to make music that long, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I get what I want out of this, I'm going straight to movies.
Okay.
Like, I think that's, when we talk about Pac, right? Pac ain't make music but for like 4 years.
He only had 2-3 albums,
He in like 3 classic movies though. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I just was at a point with that to where I wasn't really too much worried about, or at that time I couldn't even really think about the flamboyancy in the art. Yeah. It was about what was real, what I was feeling, I could listen to a beat for 5 seconds and tell you I wouldn't rap on it, or I would rap on it because it would speak to me. Like, I can talk about this situation I'm going through right now on here, And then it turned into where I was making stuff and I may not even rhyme because I'm just talking about what's going on.
Yeah, we just talking at this point,
But it sound good though because it's just real. Sometimes and someone out there can relate to you.
Definitely that. And
I
like
had to learn
music and art in general, like especially when you get into the music thing, one, it's all opinionated. So
Yeah,
somebody's
facts.
gonna like, just like the stories we're telling right
Exactly.
here. Everybody's not gonna be able to hear your story and,
Right.
and gather tools from it to put in
Right.
their toolbox.
Right.
But somebody will. Somebody's
Somebody
gonna
will.
hear your story and somebody's gonna respect it. And just
Facts.
like music in general, like pop is ABC rhymes,
Right,
right? But like
right.
once you really get into music, or a lot of people like to think hip hop, real hip hop, bump all the rhymes. Like that's cool. If you can do it and do what you're doing, it's cool.
Right, it's
But a
cool.
lot of the biggest artists, like they don't rhyme all the time, but they're telling you a story. They're telling you a message,
Exactly.
and you really understanding what's really
And
going
you can
on.
relate.
You can relate.
It just, I mean, on the scheme of things, it could be to a bigger scheme, or it can be, you know, something that was more of like a sidekick to your larger story.
Yeah.
But you know, and somehow you can relate.
You can always relate.
So
during this time, I know you mentioned how you thought about, or you've always kind of thought about the what's next step, and after
Right.
music, you want to be an actor. Now, I've listened to it, and I've watched a lot of your work, and that shit hard, first of all, right?
Appreciate you,
And
buddy.
even when you said, like, I thought less of the pen, more of the persona that I want to be in the portray. I have a few friends in wrestling now that do
really?
NXT, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
they're going on their way up, and I've been able to see how their storylines build. I have
Exactly.
one friend who he's had 3 different personas already.
Exactly.
He's on his 3rd one, and this is the one that's clicking. You may have to do
Exactly.
that. I have another friend. He had to create a whole nother persona, and now it's kicking.
Right.
So it's like throughout this, I've seen. Forgive me, I forgot his name, but I know you're a videographer, and I've seen that y'all. Yes, and I've seen y'all do a lot of work together, and a lot of cool cinematic shots.
Yeah.
So as the thought removed less of the pen and more of the let me tell this story,
Right.
is this the same time? Because my timetable with your music is, I don't know when the 11 months of,
Right.
the, you know what I'm saying, your uncle was. Is this around the time you started diving deep into the cinematic stories, or was that after?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, yeah. And that's what it lines too, because you started to think.
my music became a lot more visual. Like I would write a song, or maybe go in there and freestyle a song, but I'm like, that's why I say it's art, because I'd be drawing a picture
in your head,
you know?
yeah.
And it was a blessing that me and YF was able to connect, because I needed somebody that would be able to, basically take what I'm writing on paper or what I'm speaking into a mic and put it on the screen.
Yeah.
You know? And we connected instantly. Instantly we connected. And he just understood, you know? He just understood, and I mean, I was with him yesterday.
Yeah.
You know
Been
what
locked
I'm
in
saying?
ever
Like, I was
since.
with him yesterday. Like, we was cooking. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and he just understands. He, you know, if I put an idea out, you know, either he'll build on it, he'll be like, I like that. What about this? And then, you know, we meet somewhere, or, you know, one scene might be me, one scene might be all him, one scene might be both of us, one scene might be something we built together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One scene might be something we scratched this and took that from there. Like, it's a whole process. So, you know, I'm glad that, you know, like you say, you was able to see the cinema aspect of it, the cinematic feel of my videos.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's very big to me. So.
And that's something you put a lot of thought in. And now going back to this embodiment of living through the isolation to this day.
Right.
If you don't mind me asking, like, how long ago did your uncle pass?
About a month and a half ago, yeah.
So as you embody this, like, the pre-passing, right? I have these emotions, I have all that. Then he passes, and now I'm still in the I'm still in the mourning of somebody I've seen, somebody I endured, somebody I love, right? And I'm still in the mourning of that. And the biggest outlet I had was my creative outlet.
Yeah.
And this is the passing is catapulting this.
Facts.
Right? So as you maneuver through the isolation now, how is the music affecting and helping with the emotions and, you know, how you deal with the passing of somebody you cared so much about, or the family you have to surround yourself around during this time of mourning?
Super day to day. Super day to day. You know, one day you good, you know? One day you good, you perfect. You know, it's a great day. You know what I'm saying? It's work may have been a quick day at work, or a quick day doing what you do, and it's easy, and maybe you might get in the studio that night and things are flowing, and then, you know, one day is real bad.
Yeah.
You know, you start remembering what he told you, your last conversation, because I talked to him when he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
When, you know, his last days before they finally had moved him to hospice, when that's basically like, you know,
Yeah.
hey, you know, we about to pull the plug. But, you know, I talked to him his final days, and, you know, that conversation, I done reheard that conversation 100 times, you know? So you have days like that, you know, when it's late and you just start thinking about that type of stuff, and, you know, then you'll have a day where, well, you may feel down, but his son feel great.
Yeah.
So ain't no point
like, I don't wanna be there.
So
Yeah.
now you gotta cheer up.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, if his little boy feel good, you better feel good with him.
Yeah.
You know, because as hard as it is for me, I know it's a million times harder for him.
Yeah.
So the days that God do let him, you know, get that day to
have joy
enjoy,
and be happy.
you know, then who am I to
take it away from by
exactly
bringing
so
my problems around?
That's really it. It's super day to day, man.
And so on some of those bad days, right? We spoke about something that was big earlier, was out of sight, out of mind. On some of those bad days, are those the days where you have less distractions, right? You don't have that chance to get in the studio.
Sure.
Work isn't short and quick, right? Like those days where you have to sit with those emotions. Are those the days that are typically bad?
For sure, because like, for sure. Because it'll be things like, those are days when I'm writing.
Okay.
Because there's so many different thoughts, you know? There's so many different things in my mind. So I'll write it. Maybe not even that I'm rhyming, but I'm just writing.
Journaling.
Yeah.
You're
honestly,
just journaling.
Just to get the thoughts out. And then, but like the crazy thing about those days is I may write that day, but if you was to ask me to go to the studio and record it, I can't.
It's not the day to do that, yeah.
You know, I can't say what I'm thinking, but I can type or I can write it out all day. So, I'd say those would be the days that, like, for sure, way less distractions, and I can write an album's worth of art.
And those may be the days that you internally, even if you don't consciously notice, but those may be the days that you need the isolation.
Exactly.
Right? Accidental Isolation is the name of the show.
Yeah. And
a lot of times within that, there's days I have to intentionally isolate. Right. Isolation isn't a bad thing, right? No. They're just the moments where you are you're alone, physically, mentally, or emotionally, right? Those are just those moments where you are alone. So they're neither bad nor good. Right. And it seems like those are the days where it's like I have less distractions and I have all these thoughts going on. And they're upsetting me. They're making me angry. They're making me upset. Whatever the emotion is, I need a way to get rid of this. Right. And like your outlet turns to journaling or writing, right? Because like I said, it's not always me intentionally writing a rhyme or writing a rap.
Or sometimes it'd be writing a script. Lately, thank God for my work, and it's doing this good justice around the city, and people are seeing it. Lately, people hit me up and say, "Yo, I got a video idea, you know. Can I bring you on?" Yeah. And I'll write a script, you know, and it might be a slow day. It might be a day when I feel down, but, you know, not that it's just lyrics all the time, but, you know, all right, now I get to play with, you know, humans, and I get to say, hey, you do this at this, and this is the wardrobe, and this is the setting, and, you know, so it'd be things like that where I'm writing a script out. So.
It just allows you to get, you know what I'm saying?
Get things off.
Release some things off that's holding you down and everything.
Isolation, man. You need it. You need it. It's very easy to be a chameleon in society, you know, without knowing. You need to hear yourself think, you know. Unfortunately for us in today's society, you know, this is not a society of isolation, you know. Work, you probably work with somebody. Your hobbies may be with somebody. Yeah. You know, social media is all over the place now. So it's just easy. Even when you may be in your bedroom alone, you scrolling on Twitter.
Yeah, you're not by yourself.
You're not.
You're not with your thoughts.
It's very easy. So you have to isolate. You have to. I cannot write at all with somebody, and they may be quiet. Yeah. I can't write with someone in the room.
Yeah. I
can't, you know what I'm saying? So isolation is very important. we have to remember that we're human, you know? Today's age, we really move more like robots, which is why these machineries are able to reenact what we do.
So
Sometimes we
good,
see
yeah.
these videos all on the net, and they, this company came out with a robot, they can shoot basketballs, and this company came out with a robot, they can take people order. Like, it's because we're not even seeing that we becoming more
robotic.
like, robotic.
Yeah, mundane. We
Then,
do the same things
you
over
know?
and over, and we've begin to move as time has gone on, and as we all get all these new technologies and all these new things.
I mean, it's
cool, but it takes us further and further away from our natural element,
reality,
being outside,
man.
being able to move
span
freely.
is different.
Everything.
Attention span. I mean, you know, it's features on Instagram now. I remember when back when I was in high school, middle school, like, you know, now these videos are 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
And the one, if you really want, and unfortunately it sucks, but a lot of people are social. Well, this doesn't suck, but a lot of people are social media, like that's their income. So it's like, and what pushes that income more are these short, the 3-second videos. That what gets you the most. And it's like you can't
TikTok,
even everything. You can't even share your story, your platform, whatever your art is, whatever your social media thing is. You can't even really share that. And you're forced to just do these small, monotonous 3-second, 5-second clips just to make them living.
I was in a meeting like last week. I'm talking to these people, you know, and we just talking about like ways to like further our money with investments and stuff like that. And the guy, you know, he was talking about how much of a skill it is to be, you know, with communicating.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's a skill to communicate, but that is just insane to me. That's like, to be able to talk
to
the
people.
way we talking right now is a skill.
It is, yeah.
You know?
Especially,
that's how far we are from.
After things like COVID and because of like the tech jobs and the tech worlds where like you're on the computer, you don't have to talk to people more. You don't have to talk to people. Or you can just type your responses like, like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
I live by that.
Facts.
So after COVID, the rise of these tech companies and tech jobs, like people don't talk.
No.
And like one, like I said, COVID brought just the social fear, like just being able to go out and talk to people. Because before, like these clubs now, we 4 years away, everything's back out. But when you go outside, everybody was shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Within the first 3 years, like we're just now, you know, last year and a half, 2 years, really getting out to like be back outside. You feel me? Being able to walk up to somebody and just, hey, my name's this, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like communication is a skill because there's so much lack of communication.
Facts.
People aren't talking.
Facts.
Or you might see somebody in person, you don't even speak to them, get home and shoot them a DM. I seen you today.
Facts.
And it's like,
and yo, girls don't like that. Yo.
Yeah, not an 80, definitely not.
Like that, yo, don't be staring at a girl all night. And then, you know what I mean, you get the gram, you don't say nothing, play it that night, and then you want to go home and I hope you made it home safe. Nah, bro. Keep it pushing, man. Someone, you know what I'm saying? Somebody done already.
Somebody made sure she made home
bro,
safe.
exactly. She actually is home safe with somebody. Like, come on, man.
I mean, and like you said, girls don't like it, men don't like it, and it's like, it's something that's not, like I said, good, bad, or indifferent, but it's like, that's something that's still real.
Facts.
Like, why can't these people, and obviously you have some introverts and you have some extroverts, but I do think there is just a big median of people who aren't introverted, but just don't know how, or are in that isolation themselves, or scared, or to have that fear to speak up to somebody. So like, it doesn't even have to be about females right now, but like, what would you say is something that can help someone get out of that shell, or like just be able to take that mask off? Because like, you're someone who's been going through something real, and still able to like be able to be out here and like be able to just walk up to somebody and just like you said, be human at the end of the day. Like, take away the persona. I'm this when I'm on the beat. I'm this when I'm directing something. But take away the persona, I'm human. What are some things that like you would be able to say like can help someone just like be more human?
I say self-awareness for one. You know, self-awareness. But then, you know, you could say, you know, what if someone's too self-aware and that's why they're not, you know. I think a big thing is transparency.
Yeah.
Transparency, because like we said earlier, the mask can become you. You know, the mask can become you. the mask became me. You know, I had to turn over to a new chapter in life to where, you know, I was doing things that I wasn't raised on. You know, with morals, principles. I was doing things. I grew up in the church, but I was doing things of the world. You know what I'm saying? As my mama would say, not of the word, but of the world. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be transparent with myself. I had to sit down and, you know, be like, yo, like, what's this? You know, what am I doing? Like, Capone, what are you doing, bro? Self-awareness, transparency, adaptability, for sure. And that comes with, you know, having an open mind. You have to adapt. At the end of the day, nobody owns Earth. You know what I'm saying? We all borrowing. This shit is it's a lease. You know what I'm saying? It's just somehow people that came before us was able to be like, hey, this is mine, y'all pay for it. Yeah. But it's all a lease. So we have to adapt, you know? Put yourself out there, you know? They say pressure make diamonds. There's a beauty in being vulnerable.
Definitely.
You know? Look at it like a female, you know? I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't want no tough-ass John. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no tough-ass John. There's a beauty in being vulnerable. Yeah. So you may have to make yourself vulnerable. You may have to make yourself, you know, easy to approach. Or approach. Yeah. You know? If that's what it is, do the approaching. So that's what I say.
Now, you're right, man. It's just, like, being vulnerable allows... And, like, what I've learned through my story and my journey is one, like, this right here is an epitome of that. Yeah. Being able to, and me, I've always been vulnerable. Like, I've always, like, I would say I was never, like, too afraid to share what's on my mind. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I have my moments where I have a mask on.
All of us.
But it's like vulnerability breeds vulnerability. Yeah. A lot of people on my show come on a show and tell me things they've never told anybody in their life, just because I created a space where they feel comfortable enough to share.
Safe. Exactly.
They feel safe to, you know what I'm saying, to do that sharing. So I appreciate you coming on to, like, be vulnerable and being able to share. And that's what people learn from.
Exactly.
The best artists, the best authors, the best actors, the best anything you look up to, like whatever you look up to, even business owners, CEOs, entrepreneurs. Exactly. You see the vulnerability, and you can see that they're human, and that allows you to know that, hey, I can too do this. Exactly. Because a lot of people think of these people as robots. Oh, they're robots. They do this, and this.
And that's it.
As they may have a routine, they may have their certain dedication, their everyday things, they still have the human element within that. Exactly. And that's what breeds the success, honestly. And a lot of people don't see it that way. Like, they just think you have to do everything by the book, this, and this. But you got to bring your own personality and your own humanity into it. The catchphrase of the show is putting tools in the toolbox of others. And the reason that's the catchphrase is because, like you've experienced throughout your, you know what I'm saying, throughout your journey in your life, you had to actually begin to do some of these things that you've been told. Like, you have to pick up these tools, and you have to do the work to help maneuver through this isolation, right? We're not going to fix the isolation. There's nothing to fix here because, once again, we're human. Yeah. There's no right or wrong way, but we have to be able to maneuver throughout these isolations. Why you're on the show is to, like, share your story through vulnerability, because someone can learn from it and pick and pop some tools from your story, some of the things you've done throughout this isolation. So to give them a specific call to action and to let them know what's really going on, I like to end the show with at least 2 to 3 or 4, how many ever tools you actually use that they can actually take, and actionable steps that they can put in their toolbox to maneuver through their isolation. So whatever you got, like I said, it could be 2, 3, how many ever, just things. And you've shared some of them already throughout the show, or something new that comes up.
Cherish big and small. Every moment, every lecture, every leisure, every loss. Cherish. Because at some point, it's not going to be here. Yeah. You know, whether it be good or bad. Every situation is a lesson. It's an experience. Life is an experience, you know. Right now, all we doing right now is writing our resumes. You know, we got to hand it to the man above. Isolate. All right, isolate. Look at the game of basketball. The best isolation players are the ones who score the most.
Yeah.
Go score, go get a bucket, you know? If we look at it. So isolation doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, you know? Very important. It's very important. If you pay attention to society again, I know I'm a big society guy. The older we get, the more you see people start to isolate. Mm-hmm. Your grandfather might be in that rocking chair on the porch, all the kids inside playing. He outside on the porch. He ain't reading a book or nothing, but he just on that porch, looking into the sun or looking into, you know. The older we get, we start isolating a lot more. Because you just have to hear yourself think. You have to. It's too easy to get caged in just the regular, you know, the norm.
Thoughts of others.
Yeah, it's too easy. It's too easy. Pay attention to the fact that you have eyes and you've never seen your own face without a mirror. Okay? You don't see yourself. You will never see yourself in this life without a mirror, without some type of reflection for you to, you know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Having that moment, like having that isolation.
Yeah,
like
understand
isolation
that.
is that space to reflect and to look in the non-physical
mirror. So you
mirror.
see everybody else more than you will ever see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's life.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, it's very easy to forget about yourself. As much as you may think that you're thinking about yourself and you're all for you, it's very easy for it not to be that. Yeah. For that not to be the case. And that's really it, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So to end the show, I always give the space for the guests to talk about or bring about, you know, whatever they want to do. Any projects you got coming up, any you know, social media tags, anything you feel like you want to share about you, how they can continue to follow the journey of Capone, like, you know what I'm saying? Anything you want to share, I'll give that space at the end of the show for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on all socials at Caponedagod, Caponedagod, Caponedagod. I have a huge surprise coming up.
Okay.
You know, first initial. I'm going to just leave it at that. Got some shows coming up. We got mad shows coming out, though. Yeah. I got mad shows, which is very exciting because, like, you know, just kind of being a little newer to the music scene in a growing city like this is very, very surreal when, you know, people hit you up and book you to, you know, showcase art that you created in your own little space. Mm-hmm. So I do got a series of shows coming out. A lot more videos with me and YF about to come out, pushing the narrative. Big thing is that we want our visuals to look like, you know, our name is on that paper. Like, we put ink to pen to paper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a big thing, like, oh, your videos can't be crazy if you're not signed or if you don't got no money behind you.
Yeah, that ain't the case.
That's not the case, man. You can create without $1 million, bro. You know? So that's a big thing. And that's it, man. Shit, Capone.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a wrap.